Alright, this is your last installment, which you should be taking on Thursday, and then we'll do the quiz on Monday. So, passage 3, this is passage 5.3, it's another 7 questions. The first place I go is always the questions. So, number 1. One day after a serious sunburn is sustained, one can conclude the major symptoms would be. So, that's not in focus. Okay. So, one day after a serious sunburn is sustained, one can conclude the major symptoms would be. So I need to go back and I need to find the word symptoms. Symptoms is going to help me find my locator, because I don't actually know where it is. So, sunburn is a serious reaction to excess, following excess sun exposure. Oh look, I found the word symptoms. Figure 1. Boop. So it looks like one day, right? Let's go back to my question. One day after a serious sunburn is sustained. So at one day, here's one day, I would have blistering, pain, redness. Okay? So I would have redness, pain, and blistering. Redness, pain, and blistering. Redness, pain, and blistering. So my answer is B, because that's all 3 of those things on the graph. Questions there. Okay, one day after a serious sunburn, one can include the major symptoms. So I actually used the word symptoms as my locator. This was my locator today, because if I found it, I would figure out what I'm looking at. And then you go to one day, and then you just trace what it overlaps. So the only thing it doesn't overlap with is peeling skin. So the answer cannot be peeling skin. Okay, number 2. That one was pretty short and sweet. Number 2. Suffering just one blistering... Sorry, this hits home to me because I get sunburned extremely easily. Suffering just one blistering sunburn has which of the following effects on the chance of developing melanoma? Okay, so I want to find blistering, sunburn, and melanoma. I see melanin, but I don't see melanoma. Alright, sun exposure is also suspected to contribute to melanoma. The frequency of melanoma reported in the United States among populations that have suffered at least one blistering sunburn and among populations that have never suffered a blistering sunburn are shown as follows. So, what does it do? So no blisters, circles, and blister is squares, and it looks like for literally every single marker, it's going to increase your rate of melanoma. So, we definitely know it doesn't have no effect. We can cross off J right away. Let's see, it doubles, it triples, it decreases. We know that's not right either. So does it double or does it triple? Now we got to go back and look at our numbers. 10 to 20 is a double. 10 to 20-ish is a double. That's probably like what, 12 to 24? I'm going to say double. I looked at 3 data points, so I literally just counted this. 10, 20, 10-ish, 20-ish. Like probably 11, 22, 12, 24. So yeah, doubles. So the answer to that one is F. Bye. Okay, number 3. Several students spent the day at the beach and suffered serious sunburns. According to the information in the passage and figure 1, should these students expect to be fully recovered within 4 days? So, based on the passage and figure 1, so I am heading on over to figure 1. I'm going to go to 4 days. So it looks like I'll still be peeling. Great, so that means I'll have a symptom. I'll be done with my blistering, done with my redness. Yes, all symptoms will resolve. No. And no. I know it's not a yes. No, the student will still be suffering from blisters and peeling skin, from peeling skin only, if I look at my graph. Okay, so I passed the blistering, but I did not pass the peeling skin. Based on the data in figure 1, can you conclude the body's production of melanin peaks? So I'm going to go to my locator, which was figure 1. Okay, this is melanin production. When does it peak? So I'm going to find the peak, which is the top, or another word for maximum. I'm going to trace this line down to 1 day. 1 day is how many hours? 24. Your answer to number 4 is H. 1 day. So they're trying to throw you off by putting this in the unit, but that is some background number that you need to know, is that 24 hours is 1 day. All right, assume that sustaining a blistering burn causes people to develop within 1 year. If approximately 1 in 100 who develop a blistering burn will also develop melanoma, approximately what was the incidence of blistering burns per 100,000 of people in 1980? That is quite a lot. Okay, so I'm going to go to 1980. That's a doozy. I guess not that hard, but it's hard to understand. So my first year is going to be 1980. Okay. Now, I blister. So my do they even care? Okay. I feel like they're just trying to throw you off. Okay, assume that sustaining a blistering burn causes people to develop melanoma within 1 year. If approximately 1 in 100 people who develop a blistering burn will also get melanoma, approximately what was the incidence of blistering burns per 100,000 in 1980? So I'm going to look here. In 1980, my blistering burns, right, these don't line up totally, do they? So let's see. In 1980, my blistering burns showed a 20 over 100,000 ratio. So it gave you all that backstory, but you don't actually need to know that at all. Because it's not asking you so I actually think this question is wrong. So basically it wants you, oh, nope, I got you. I just can't read. Okay, so figure 2 shows you the frequency of melanoma. Okay, so the frequency of melanoma for blistering burns. Now I get it. Okay, this many people had melanoma. Okay, 20 in 100,000 had melanoma, and this is literally, I was getting this question wrong because I didn't read this sentence. The frequency of melanoma reported is in figure 2. Like if I just read that, I would have this. So now I need to know how many people actually had blistering burns. So 1 in 100 people that get burns get melanoma. So if 20 in 100,000, if 20 in 100,000 people have melanoma, then you're just going to take that number and multiply it by 100 to get the incidence rate, because it said 1 in 100. So this literally just means 20 over 100,000 equals 1 over 100. So if you want that, so then you go by there to get, it's literally just cross multiplication to get your answer. So 20 times 100 is 2,000. And Miss Matthews doesn't read carefully. So this is just A. You literally take the melanoma rate and just multiply it by 100. melanoma times 100. That's it. So what I was thinking that this question was wrong for is because I saw the word blistering. I was like, cool, that's the blistering incidence. But then I was like, that's not even an answer choice. It would be 20 over 100,000. And then what I had to do is read the top. So if you made the same mistake as me, don't feel bad. That's what rushing will do to you. Okay, number 6. Which year showed the sharpest increase in the incidence of melanoma for blistering? So blistering, we know we're looking at the squares and not the circle. And we want the sharpest increase. So when was this the sharpest line? So like this looks pretty sharp. Right? Sharp is steep. So let's see my years. Now let's go back to the question too, because it might say which of the following. So sometimes it doesn't give you like the main year. It gives you just years to pick from, but this says which years showed, not which of the following. So now I can go back to this. So this looks like the sharpest to me, which is between 1984 and 1988. So now let's see if that's an answer choice. Oh, look, it is. Boom. We can do that. So sharp is steep. Alright, last question. According to the information in figure 2, so that's my locator, approximately what incident of melanoma can be expected in 2008 among people who have never experienced a blistering sunburn? So this is going to be one of those interpolate extrapolate problems. IOD 404, if you will. So we have 2008. So what's the general trend here? We went from like 10 to like maybe 11 to 12 to 12.5 to 13 to those look like they're over halfway to me, so maybe like 16-ish at 2004. And it's like very, very, very gently increasing, barely. So, so this is like 16-ish, and it's increasing a little. So, it's not going to go above 20. It's not just going to suddenly spike up. So I can cross off my 35 and my 35. So now I'm between 19. Is it 19 over 100,000 or 19 over 10? So I just have to confirm and go back. Incidence per 100,000, which I know because I took so long in that last question being a dum-dum, but in case you didn't and you needed to check it, the answer to 7 is B.